Hi. Run around with a little 18-month-old all day long. The problem is the chores. It's the cleaning, the laundry. I'm somebody who suffers a lot with acne. I'm having like a rash here. I cannot stop picking at my face. I can't afford to buy this kind of foundation every other month.
And joining me on the youth lounge, give me Thato D.
Hi guys, good morning and welcome to my channel. I am going to be vlogging for you guys today. I am going to just pretty much be vlogging my day. I'm not going to be doing anything crazy, anything much. I'm just going to be mommying. And with this one, Hi. Say hi. Hi. Yeah, I'm with this, so I'm just gonna change him and get him ready for the day because he just got up. Right now the time is like 9:30ish, and we've been I've been up since like for 30 minutes, and I'm sure this one's been up for a while now because I could hear him from my bedroom just whiling and screaming out. We usually wake up like a little bit earlier than that, maybe 7:30, 8, but this guy was up so late last night. He went to sleep around 7:30, and then around 1 a.m. I could hear him just chatting and blabbing away in his room, and I was like, this boy. And he went on for maybe an hour and a half. Go. All right, let me get him ready for bed for the day. Hey. Hey, goodbye. Where's your other song? Good morning. Say good morning to everyone. You didn't even finish your milk. Say good morning to everyone. How you guys doing this morning? So we are hyped for the day. If you follow me on Instagram, then you might have heard me maybe a month or so ago, a couple of months ago. I said that I wanted to, excuse me, can I talk? I wanted to wean Maru off of like the bottle and get him to drink from a sippy cup. Yeah, I did that, and he was off the bottle for a few months, maybe a month and a half or so. But the problem was that he was just not drinking enough milk. He was not drinking. He went from drinking a little to not drinking any milk at all because he just wouldn't drink it from any bottle other than this one. I tried to add a little bit of water to the milk just to dilute it and to see if he will be tricked. But the only thing he would drink from a sippy cup is water and juice or a smoothie or something like that. He just wouldn't drink milk from it, and I had to, give him the bottle because he was just not, he's not old enough now to just go without milk. So he really needs the milk. So I had to bring back the bottle. He only has a bottle in the morning and when he goes to bed. So I ran out of battery earlier on while I was vlogging, but I had a pretty standard morning. I, tidied up a little bit, and then Ru had breakfast. He's now taking his nap. He's taking his nap pretty early because I have to go to do a radio interview, which is really fun. It's Mother's Day tomorrow. I'm shooting this on Saturday the 8th, so tomorrow is the 9th and it's Mother's Day tomorrow. So I have a little radio interview that, we're just basically going to be talking Mother's Day stuff. So I'm super excited about that, and I'm getting ready for that now. It should be happening in the next hour, so hopefully I will be done by then and I would have left the house. So I'm gonna put on some makeup right now, get dressed and get ready to leave the house, and then I'm gonna wake up because I have to go with him because there's no setup. My helper has taken a 3-week-long leave. It's only day 2. She left yesterday morning and it's only day 2 without her today, and I am still hanging in there. I can run around with a little 18-month-old all day long. The problem is the chores. It's the cleaning, the laundry, the cooking, and all the other stuff. Those are the things that I'm not a big fan of. So those are the things that usually auntie just kind of gets out of the way so that I can focus on just taking care of Ruru. Anyway, let me get ready. So here's the thing with my skin. I'm somebody who suffers a lot with acne, so I have acne every single time there's some kind of, you know, changes in my body of some sort. If I'm having my period, if I am pregnant. When I was pregnant, I had the worst acne that I've ever had in my entire life. I talked about it a little bit on my Instagram. So yeah, I've had like skin issues ever since I was a teenager. Any kind of hormonal change in my body that happens, I break up. Right now I'm having my period, so I'm having like a rash here. I don't know if you guys can see it. There's a sunscreen, by the way. I'm putting on sunscreen, which is like, if you have dark spots, you have to always put sunscreen, even if it's cloudy outside, even if you're black. I know that people who say black people don't need sunscreen, but trust me, everybody needs sunscreen. So anyway, there's this little, I'm having like a rash around this area. And yeah, that's what happens when I have hormonal change in my body. Also, one other thing, which is like my biggest enemy and the reason why I even have dark spots all over my face, just check it out, like all these dark spots. The reason why I have all this is because I cannot stop picking at my face. Every single time there's a little pimple or something going on with my face, I just want to scratch and pick it and like do all kinds of, it's like such a huge bad habit that I have that I'm trying so hard to get rid of, but it's so hard. It's just one of those things that I just can't stop doing. I just can't stop picking at my face, you guys. So another thing, before I'm talking way too much, another thing is I've gotten some questions on my Instagram about the foundation that I use to cover up my dark spots. I use two foundations. I use this Maybelline Super Stay one, which is like literally my favorite foundation ever. There was like 2 or 3 months, no, I think 2 months, where I could not find this foundation anywhere, you guys. Like, it was nowhere. Clicks, Discam, Fushini, everywhere I checked it, and they were just very, very light shades and very, very dark shades, and I couldn't find my shade. And this was on for like 2 or 3 months, and I tried out like in the LA Girl one. I think I have it somewhere here, and I just didn't love it. It wasn't this one. I think maybe because I was so obsessed with this one. So the other foundation that I use is this Astelada Double Wear one. It is in the color Cinnamon. I am freaking obsessed. This is literally my favorite foundation in all of foundations. It is amazing, but I think the issue with me is that it is not a cheap foundation. It is not a cheap foundation, so I can't use it all the time, and I can only have this one foundation because that means it's gonna run out really quickly, and I can't afford to buy this kind of foundation every other month because this goes for about like $650, and if Junita didn't buy me this foundation, I don't think I would have been able to buy it for myself because I am a stingy girl, you guys. I cannot pay $650 for a foundation, even though I'm obsessed with it. So those are the two foundations that I use. Usually when you are like Googling foundations for oily skin or like for full coverage makeup, especially when you have dark spots, they will show you this foundation and then they will say like the dupe is this foundation. So that's why I have both of them. I used to wear makeup all the time, you guys. Like, I used to wear, especially foundation, I would wear it all the time. Like, if you ask me, let's just stop by the tuck shop, I will just run and just put a little bit of foundation on because I was just so insecure about my spots. I always felt like when I'm in a room and I'm walking around, like when somebody looks at me, like that's the first thing that they see, that oh my god, this girl has spots. And I'm saying this because this has happened where I walk into a room and the first thing is somebody's wanting to advise me about what to use on my skin. Oh, what happened to your skin, or what's wrong with your skin, and stuff like that. So that was annoying to me, so I always felt like it was just easier for me to just cover them up. And nowadays I have got a little bit more comfortable with my skin, which is crazy because it got really, really bad when I was pregnant. I was just like, you know what, I just have to accept the fact that I am just a person who has troubled skin, so I shouldn't like try too hard to cover it up all the time, because always having foundation on was also not doing really well for my skin. It was bad for my skin as well. So I had to literally be like, nope, take a break with that. But today I'm putting on some foundation because I'm going to the radio. I'm gonna do like a fun little Mother's Day interview. Oh my goodness, I'm running late. It's like 12:30 and I need to be there like at 1 o'clock. So I am running a little bit late. Done. I am ready. I am running so late, but look at me, just looking at myself in the mirror. I am so sorry I'm late. I'm vlogging, by the way.
Look at you.
Thank you.
How to be a mom.
I'm so excited. Where do I sit?
Are you well?
I'm good.
You can use mic 4. And joining me on the youth lounge, give me Thato D. Po, 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 po.
Hi.
Hi Thato.
Hi, Tabiso, and hi everyone who's listening.
Radio loves you.
Radio loves me.
It always
finds its way to my life. It's just something.
We're talking about motherhood and the young people. Thato D is a young person. She's a mom. Let's talk about your pregnancy.
Yes.
How was your journey?
My journey was up and down. It was very much up and down. I was excited to be pregnant because this was something yes, I was excited to be pregnant. I didn't struggle to get pregnant, so that was such a blessing for me. And I know that a lot of people out there struggle to get pregnant. It's such a something that can be so difficult for other mamas. So I was very blessed to get pregnant right away after I decided I wanted a child. But I really had a rough first trimester. Yeah, so I had a really rough one because I got really sick quickly. I had nausea, I was vomiting, I had mood swings, I had hot flashes, I had literally every symptom in the book. So that was quite rough for me. And it's like a 3-month-long hangover, basically. Like that's how first trimester feels. But there are other moms who are so blessed to not have to go through all those things during the first trimester. So those are God's favorites.
So this little being comes to this world. How does your life change then?
It literally changes in a moment. Like the moment the first cry you hear, you know that your life is going to be completely different. Your responsibility levels just spike. You have to now know that it's not just about you now, it's about this other person. So every decision that you make ultimately are going to affect this person. And the way that you navigate your life, there's somebody that's looking at you, that's modeling you.
Let's talk about the challenges that modern day mothers face.
I mean, the challenges can be endless, but I think when you have the right people around you, when you have your core people, they can not seem so bad, right? Obviously there's the aspect of money, or things are getting more and more expensive every day. It can be really challenging for young mothers because we're young, so we're not making quite as much money as we possibly can make. I think also our culture is really, really hard on young mothers. I think they don't want to modernize having kids and stuff. There's so much mystery about that aspect of life. So a lot of young moms get into it not really knowing what they're getting into.
How do you navigate around this? Because it's a completely new thing.
It's so new.
That alone can be a huge challenge.
It's a huge challenge, especially in the very beginning, like right after you leave the hospital. I think it's such a mind. It really messes with your mind because you're like, I walked into the hospital, I didn't have this human. Now I walk out and just go figure it out, go wing it and whatnot. And you're walking out, you just gave birth, so there's the afterbirth aches, there's the postpartum things that you have to deal with for yourself, and then you have this other human being that's so delicate and so fragile that you have to take care of. So it can be really scary, but it's such a fulfilling experience. I always say support. Identify your core people, and whether it's your friends, your family, your partner, your husband and whatnot, make sure you always have that person around you that you can always just go back to and be like, hey, I'm struggling. It's not easy.
You mentioned something profound earlier on. Sometimes young mom they don't have the support, the necessary support. The whole journey is not a walk in the park. What can you say to that young mother?
One thing is that no matter what kind of experience you're going through, you are not alone. Like Khaso and Ahela, there's always somebody else going through the very same thing, or somebody who has been through the very same thing. So seek community. I did that for myself. I went out, I shared my journey, so I was able to have other mamas reach out to me, be like, hey, I'm going through the same thing. I'm having a baby at the same time as you. I'm going through these symptoms of pregnancy that are difficult to go through with you. So it's very good to have somebody to bounce off those ideas with. It's very difficult to go through something like pregnancy and being a new mom without support.
It's Mother's Day tomorrow.
Yes.
What are you looking? What's your ideal Mother's Day treatment?
Oh my gosh, let me tell you.
I hope you are listening, because now I'm not doing anything for you.
My ideal Mother's Day, which I'm probably not gonna get because my helper is like on a 3-week-long vacation and I'm like going through the most right now, would be like being rented like a hotel room somewhere and just be given the key for the day. Just go. You're not going to have any kind of responsibility towards anyone today. Just go there, watch some Netflix, drink Savannah, have a good old time by yourself. I don't even need friends or girlfriends around, just to be alone, because there's this saying that says, if you never want to be alone, have a baby. That is so true. It's so true. You can never have time to yourself. You can find those little pockets of time in your life, but ultimately there's always going to be this human being that's always around. So probably not going to get any of this, but that would be very ideal for me.
What can you say to young mothers out there who are really trying to maneuver around this whole concept?
I'm always saying this, it gets better. I know it always feels like such a whole thing in the beginning and it's so scary and stuff, but it really gets better. I think motherhood is one of those things that is just a mix of everything. It's fun, it's challenging, it's stressful, it's fulfilling, it's exciting, it's daunting, there's all these little feelings that are associated with being a mom, but ultimately it's really fulfilling. I think it's one of the best things. Any woman who is a mother, no matter what kind of thing they've achieved in their life, they always tell you the hardest job is being a mom. The highly CEO of such a prestigious president of the world, they always say, if you want toughness, be a mother, because that's a really tough job, but it's really fulfilling. And I'm just gonna say, hang in there. Those little bundles of joys, they really bring joy, and ultimately, it's going to pay off. But everything that I share, every advice that I give, it comes from my own personal experience. So if I identify a mom hack that I'm like, hey, this has worked for me, I'm always ready to give it out and share it with my audience, whether it's through my YouTube channel or my Instagram or my Facebook. I always want to share every tips and trick that I've learned throughout my experience. Like I said, Botswana, it seems like motherhood is such a mystery. A lot of people are just going into it so blindsided by everything. I went into it not knowing what I was getting into. So I think having somebody like me where is relatable, people can be like, oh, okay, so she's saying you can do it, so I can do it.
Thank you so much, Thato D.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was so fun.
Hi! I made it to the channel. I'm so proud.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me, babe.
Thank you so much for stopping.
Oh my god, I thought somebody was saying something. Bye. Oh, that was so much fun. It brought back so many memories. I used to work on the radio, so it was so cool to be behind the mic and finally being interviewed. I've done so many interviews in my life. Are you sitting on my seat? Hi. Are you a cutie? Are you my little cutie? Did you get mommy on the radio killing it? It went so well. I'm going back home now. And yes, signed, sealed, delivered, and it was a success.